welcome back. It is time for RM in the house. Not Rap Monster, but Relationship Matters.
I can try to rap if you want.
Oh, can you?
No,
Do a little rap?
no. Spit some bars.
Yeah.
I was riding my bike just to get to here, and then I look over and I see right there. Oh, I see already.
Oh, I didn't know you were rapping until the latter part.
And I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah, okay. Well, welcome to the show, Casey. How are you doing?
Oh, adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was in a hurry to get here, and there's bad traffic on the way today. So be careful out there. Bad traffic. I saw an accident.
Oh, no.
Everybody drive safely.
Yeah, drive safely, 2 hands on the wheel at all times.
Yeah, please. Not on your phones.
Yeah, never.
Please.
Unless you're parked. Or,
Right.
Yeah, standing idle.
That's right. Not while you're driving.
Never.
I see it a lot these days. I see it a lot.
How do you see? How do you know?
I can see things. I can see clearly now.
All right. Scary.
I know.
No. All right, Casey, you're here for Relationship Matters. It's going to be all about relationship, whether it be friends, family, lovers. What kind of relationship stuff are we going to be talking about today?
A little bit of family and a little bit of just like people at large. Probably friends most especially, but this all started because recently I took the kids out for, it was like a recent Saturday, not last Saturday, maybe 2 Saturdays ago. And we had like lunch at a little cafe. And sometimes the kids fight over what they're eating. You know, like somebody wants this, especially the younger one. She wants what her older brother's got, and then it just turns into a thing. So I let them pick their own food. We're having lunch.
More food for you.
No, less food for dad. Never.
Oh, really?
No, these kids like clean up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're eaters.
They've been trained well.
Yeah, I guess so. Success.
Never leave food behind.
Right. Right. But sometimes it turns into like strawberries, for example. They'll fight over that.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I get it. Strawberries are good. But you got to share, right?
Yeah.
So I've had this issue, but while they were eating, they were splitting some food because everything looked good. So they were sharing like half a sandwich each. There was some fruit that they were splitting. There was some bread rolls.
Yeah.
And my son turned to me and he said, "Daddy, now I know why sharing is good."
Oh.
And I was like,
갑자기?
Yeah, 갑자기.
Oh, what was the reason?
Because this is something him and his sister have been fighting about for quite some time. Feels like decades, but that's not possible.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, it's an issue we have at home all the time. And I was like, oh, I did it. Mission accomplished. Like,
wow.
My son understands. Our daughter, she'll have some years to catch up. But I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I can't remember this. When I was young, did I have problems like sharing food or sharing things? Do you remember this when you were younger? Did you have issues sharing?
No, I don't think I had issues per se sharing. So my sister and we have like a 12-year gap. So
okay.
I was raised alone for a long time.
Right.
And my parents were pretty good with the sharing thing because I grew up in a culturally Korean parents, right? So I grew up, the sharing culture is pretty
normal.
Good here, pretty big, right? So it's normal. So I didn't really have much of a sharing food with others or sharing gifts with other people. It's always been kind of like the cultural thing for me.
And you picked up on something important that made me realize after this issue with my kids, and I've been concerned about them, trying to teach them that sharing is good. I had another thing a couple of weeks ago where I was like, oh man, I still don't share. And it's partially because I'm not Korean. And I think Korean culture, like sharing is important, right?
Yeah, it's to build that 정 as well, right? You
right. 정 없어요.
나가세요.
저는 정이 없어요.
No, you have plenty of 정 in different sense.
Well, yeah, maybe. I hope so. But yeah, so basically what was happening was I was meeting some friends at work.
Yeah.
And my wife had made some cookies at home and I was giving it to them. And so I just, kind of gave it to them and said, oh, here, this is for you. My wife made this. And my friends are Korean.
Right.
And she immediately goes to get a plate, and she's like, "Oh, 같이 먹자."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh no, it's yours." And then I was dismissive.
Oh no.
In the way that I said it.
They were being nice and they want to eat with you, but you're like, "No, this is yours. You keep it."
Yeah, and I didn't say it like the Terminator.
Right. Yeah.
But it probably looked like that.
It might have. Yeah.
So she was like, she looked at me for a second. She's like, is that an American thing? And I was like, maybe. And I really couldn't answer. I had to like kind of take a second and think about it. And I was like, yeah, I think it is. And I couldn't, this is the best explanation I could come up with. And I know you've been in Western culture for quite a while too, so maybe you can relate to this.
Yeah.
Is it a thing? In my mind, it was like this. So I have something that somebody made for you, and I'm here to deliver it to you. I want you to have it. And I feel like if I share it with you, I'm somehow not really giving it to you.
Yeah, I kind of understand both cultures very well.
Cool, thank you. You can crack the code for me.
So this is another similar situation or similar example or scenario is when you go out with your friends to eat hamburgers.
Sure.
And you get French fries. In Korea, what people tend to do is drop them all in one big area.
Rip that bag open.
Rip the bag open.
Just tear that bag open.
You know, dump all the French fries in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you have ketchup all around it so you can dip the fries and eat it all together.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
But in America and Canada, each to his own. You never put anything in the middle. Unless
I don't share my French fries.
Unless you don't unless you don't want your French fries.
Yeah, unless they're like a little soggy. You size them up. You're like, oh, those don't look so good. Yeah, let's share.
Yeah. So what I did with my friends, we would like kind of like tease around, and I'll be taking my friends' French fries as jokes.
Right.
And they'll get angry.
It's a thing, right?
Yeah. You never share food. Food is for you and you only.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel so much because I was sitting there like with my friends and I felt like I insulted them.
Yeah.
But I was trying to explain myself. I was like, I'm not selfish, am I? Am I selfish?
No, it's just a culture thing.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
And so thank you because I just kind of made it up the answer on the spot because I felt bad.
Yeah.
Because she was clearly like, did you poison this cookie? Like, why are you not sharing this with me?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's nothing like that. I just feel like if I now like try to take some of it back, I feel like I didn't really give it to you.
Right.
It's
no
yours
longer
now.
a gift.
It's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gift is not meant to be shared. It's meant to be given to you, and you have full ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, as far as I can recall, I don't remember my parents like sitting me down when I was like 3 years old. Son, this is now legally your bread. I don't remember any conversations like that. Yeah. But for some reason, that's ingrained in me, and I guess it's a thing.
And you might find it very awkward to share something that you gave that person as a gift.
Totally.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh, I can't do that. And I couldn't explain why. I was like, no, I can't. And it kind of tripped me up for a little bit. And I was thinking about it today. I was like, I got to find some answers to this. But I think you hit it right on the head.
Right.
So, I can't say Western culture because the West is what is that, right? But okay, we can specify North American culture, right?
Yeah.
In the United States and Canada, there is a thing where if you give somebody something, it's theirs now, right? And if you have something, it's yours. And I can't say why we feel that way, but it's definitely a thing. And in Korean culture, I feel like I kind of bump up against that quite a bit. And the French fries is perfect example.
Perfect example, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had messages coming in. Song Nim also saying something similar along the lines of what I just mentioned with the French fry thing. Also, Jenny Nim saying these days, kids having no brothers or sisters, they're not used to sharing.
Yeah. So I was wondering, is that just an American thing? Because that's my only really reference point is like how I grew up. And so I was curious about that. And I did find a survey from last year.
Yeah.
Specifically about Americans. It's from the New York Post. And the headline was Millennials, Gen Zers don't want to share their food.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I think that might be going along with, kids typically these days, it's less likely that somebody might have a brother or sister, right? Families are kind of getting smaller.
Yeah.
Right? So if you do grow up without siblings, then you don't have that sharing issue you have to work through as you're younger.
You never had to share.
Exactly.
Because whatever your parents give you is solely yours.
Yeah, so is this going to become the norm around the world then, you think? Not just the U.S.?
Oh, I don't know. But I guess, every country has their own way of evolving the culture, right?
Of course. So, it's constantly changing, right?
Yeah.
Slowly sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, but then we also have access to the World Wide Web, the internet. So we get to see how other cultures are evolving via media. So I don't know.
And there is a lot of discussion. I've seen a lot of this discussion online when I was kind of looking this up. You see it especially a lot for international students who come from Asia anywhere in Asia, if they're going to study in the U.S. or if they're going to study in Canada or the U.K., they talk about this. Like, get ready. People are not going to share food with you. And like, if you go to grab somebody's plate and grab something, they're going to be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Get your hands off my plate.
Don't touch my fries. Don't touch my fries.
I licked them, by the way.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, people get and I get it too. And I don't, like I said, I don't remember my parents sitting me down and teaching me this, but I do get that possessiveness. Like, if somebody reaches onto my plate, I'm like, hey, man, back up a little bit.
Right.
And I have gotten much more used to it, but I do remember when I first came to Korea and, they put that big bowl of doenjang jjigae in the middle of the table.
I was going to ask you, actually, how'd you handle that situation?
Not well. Not well. I was like, where's my bowl? At first I would ask. I'd be like, can I get... I had to learn japsi, ap japsi, right?
Yeah.
I guess, right? That's so. Can I get one more bowl?
Right.
So for a while, I would do that. I'd be like, take mine, put it in a bowl, and then make sure nobody's touching it.
Safeguard it with all your might.
For sure. Yeah. And then, I guess keranjim was the hardest one for me to share. That one took. It feels weird to share keranjim 아직도.
So if you go out with your friends and order keranjim, would you be like, 저기 칼 하나 주세요, and then you divvy up?
That would feel like too much of a cultural,
too much, too territorial.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, this side of the table is now mine.
Yeah.
Stake my flag in it. But I did recently have samgyeopsal with some friends, maybe a couple weeks ago. And a friend of mine who, let's say, he's not the cleanliest person in the world. And he was like, digging in that keranjim all night long, and then I saw what was left, and I was like, I am not touching that.
Yeah,
I am not. I don't know what's going on in that keranjim.
Yeah.
So even still, I've been here for 18 years maybe, and the sharing food thing, I guess I haven't quite adapted to it.
Man,
Weird,
think,
huh?
Yeah, because it's hard not to share.
Yes.
Because when you order, let's say, 돼지고기 3인분.
Sure.
They're not going to say this is 3인분. It's just lumps of meat. Yeah, lumps of meat, and you have to kind of just share with other people. You can't
I feel okay about that.
Yeah.
That meat's that's cut. There's scissors involved. I can grab it by myself.
Yeah.
That's keranjim, man.
But
I don't
the
know.
soup and the keranjim, that's hard for you, huh?
I've gotten more used to doenjang jjigae. I guess it's so boiling hot when you eat it. In my mind, it's fine. Like the germs are
the germs will all die.
Yeah, I guess.
You think too microscopic. Yeah.
Well, and you know what? The pandemic kind of reinforced that. Did you not have that issue where?
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I think
suddenly,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I felt like kind of justified in not sharing everything.
You see the green germs moving around.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man, pandemic, don't touch my food.
Yeah.
Or just eating out less with people. I got used to that too. Just
Yeah.
eating out at home or eating at home. So I did feel like the pandemic kind of set me back a few years. Now when I go out again, I'm like, really? Can we share again? Is it okay?
Yeah, the sharing culture definitely. But then your son was able to overcome the ickiness and then was able to share with his sister and with everybody else.
And that's the thing too. Like I'm kind of I'm trying to be culturally sensitive and not just transfer my own personal beliefs from my culture. I'm trying to be aware of how life is in Korea. So when I'm teaching my kids, I do want to make sure what I'm teaching them is appropriate for Korea.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start tearing open the bag of French fries. I decided today.
Oh, good.
I will tear open the bag of French fries and we will share.
Yeah, because kids grow up fast and they get to they see this sharing culture.
Yes.
I guess maybe more than you would, right?
Yeah, totally. Right. And kids are, like I said, I don't remember my parents teaching me these things specifically. Kids learn by seeing, and they notice our behavior, and then what we do becomes normal. So. All right, so I decided just now, this moment, next time there's a bowl of keranjim in front of me, I will go for it. I'll share.
No, but
I guess.
don't do the cutting because Hung Irinim texted in saying it's illegal to cut steamed eggs. No,
do not cut.
Not do that. Yeah,
just spoon only.
Yeah, so maybe with a clean spoon.
Yeah.
Take a big chunk and put it on your apjopsi.
Oh, so that's legal. You feel is that a bit
And
weird?
then just tell them, just for COVID's sake, I just want my share.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Do you remember COVID? You remember? Right? Yeah.
Right.
계란찜. 타로 먹자.
따로. And not the taro, but yeah.
Yeah, right. 따로. 상디글.
Yeah.
따로.
No, I'm just playing with you.
I'll work on it though.
We had Jenny Nim also texting in saying, in my house, no one can eat unless girls want to share because of the mom's strict rules.
Really?
Yeah.
So in other words, like the girls are going to be the first at everything?
So no sharing, no food is what she's saying, which is pretty good. Maybe that's the rule you should set with in your family.
Yeah, that's cool. I might try that.
Yeah.
But then I have to follow those rules too. Like that's it. Like I have to abide by the rules too, right?
You have to be the role model.
어려워요.
All right, thank you so much for coming in today for RM. This was Casey. Have a great